Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Christine. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to another installment of Scam Dictionary. Today I want to talk about Ponzi schemes. A short and sweet and hopefully informative video to advise what Ponzi schemes are. If you have followed my channel for a bit, you can see that I have done a lot of anti-MLM content, and sometimes you can hear MLM reps say, well, we're not a Ponzi scheme, we're not illegal, which is true because multi-level marketing companies are not Ponzi schemes. So I thought it would be interesting to differentiate between the one scammy business model and the other one. A Ponzi scheme is considered a fraudulent investment program, and it involves utilizing payments gathered from new investors to settle the earlier financiers. Organizers of Ponzi plans usually promise to invest the cash they collect to create supernormal profits with little to no risk. However, in the real sense, the scammers don't actually prepare to invest the cash. Ponzi schemes are named after the Italian businessman Charles Ponzi, and the scheme leads victims to believe that profits are coming from legitimate business activities like product sales and successful investments. Investors are unaware that other investors are the source of the funds. Ponzi scheme can maintain the illusion of being a sustainable business as long as new investors contribute new funds and as long as most of the investors do not demand full repayment and still believe in the non-existing assets they are purported to own. Ponzi scheme, like I said, goes back to Charles Ponzi and back to the 1920s, where he carried out this scheme and became well known throughout the United States because of the huge amount of money that he took in. Charles Ponzi's original scheme was based on the legitimate arbitrage of international reply coupons for postage stamps, but he soon began diverting new investors' money to make payments to earlier investors and to himself. Unlike earlier similar schemes, Ponzi's gained considerable press coverage both within the United States and internationally, both while it was being perpetrated and after it collapsed. And this eventually led to the type of scheme being named after him. So it looks like Charles Ponzi was not necessarily the first person who introduced this fraudulent investment system into the world, but he was the one who gained the most attention, and that is why in the 1920s in the United States it was named after him. Now, in a Ponzi scheme, a con artist offers investments that promise very high return with little or no risk to their victims. The returns are said to originate from a business or a secret idea run by the con artist. In reality, the business does not exist or the idea does not work. The con artist in the center of this scheme pays the high returns promised to their earlier investors by using the money obtained from later investors. Instead of engaging in a legitimate business activity, the con artist attempts to attract new investors to make the payments that were promised to earlier investors. The operator of the scheme also diverts their clients' funds for their personal use. Ponzi schemes are specifically successful because the people who enter the scheme first, they see a quick return of their investment, or what they believe to be a quick return of their investment. And then they can spread that information to others that they have discovered this amazing investment strategy that already paid them off very quickly. And then word of mouth will spread that this business idea is really successful. Because there are no legitimate actual earnings, Ponzi schemes require a constant flow of new money to survive. And when it becomes hard to recruit new investors, or when large numbers of existing investors cash out, these systems inevitably collapse. As a result, most investors end up losing all or much of the money they invested, and in some cases, the operator of the scheme may simply disappear with the money, or try to. There are so many fraudulent business opportunities, business systems that are operating at the moment. Some of these that are, in my opinion, sketchy and scammy are legal, or they haven't been declared illegal yet, but Ponzi schemes for sure are. And here are some red flags if you ever wonder if you are caught up in a Ponzi scheme, if you want to watch out for this, etc. So the red flags are high investment return with little or no risk. Every investment carries some degree of risk, and investments yielding higher returns typically involve more risk. Any guaranteed investment opportunity should be considered suspect. Somebody promises you if you invest a lot of money, you will get a lot of money in return, and there is no risk attached to that. I think most people can connect to that when people try to lure you into investing money. There is no risk attached. Invest into this Bitcoin, invest into binary, invest into Forex, invest into the regular stock market. I just have the solution for you, and there is no risk attached. There's always a risk attached, like this first red flag clearly states. Then you have the overly consistent returns, which doesn't sound that fraudulent at first, but if we take a closer look, I think it makes sense because investment values tend to go up and down over time, especially those offering potentially high returns. An investment that continues to generate regular positive returns regardless of overall market conditions is considered suspicious. The next red flag can be unregistered investments. Ponzi schemes typically involve investments that have not been registered with financial regulators like the SEC or FCA. Registration is important because it provides investors with access to key information about the company's management, products, services, and finances. Unlicensed sellers. In the United States, federal and state security laws require that investment professionals and their firms be licensed or registered. Most Ponzi schemes involve unlicensed individuals or unregistered firms. The next point are secretive or complex strategies. Investments that cannot be understood or on which no complete information can be found or obtained, they are considered suspicious. Issues with paperwork. Account statement errors may be a sign that funds are not being invested as promised. Difficulty receiving payments. Investors should be suspicious of cases where they don't receive a payment or have difficulty cashing out. Ponzi scheme promoters sometimes try to prevent participants from cashing out by offering even higher returns for staying put. And that is, as I've stated before, a Ponzi scheme only works if there's a consistent flow of new people engaging in the scheme and the people that are in the scheme staying in there. And they do not ask for a full refund of the money they have invested, plus their expected profit. Another point I want to kind of cross off is to mention what the difference is between a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme. I don't know if you remember back in the good old times when a group of people from another MLM switched to iGenius, a financial literacy MLM, and the CEO or president of the company was on a call, he was on an interview trying to defend his company from the haters because the company received a good amount of coverage, and he said that his company is not a Ponzi scheme. The anti-MLM content creators who covered the topic said, "We didn't accuse your company of being a Ponzi scheme, but you're building a system very much based on recruitment. And yes, lots of people believe that iGenius is a pyramid scheme, although at the moment it is not legally being declared as a pyramid scheme." I think this can be specifically interesting if you're interested in anti-MLM content. Both systems are fraudulent systems. I also have another video on pyramid schemes in my scam dictionary. I will also link it up here if you're interested in checking that out yourself. Both are fraudulent systems and are illegal. In a Ponzi scheme, a victim is being lured into the system, is asked to invest something, and is being promised a return on their investment plus unimaginable profits with the promised returns at a later day. Whereas a pyramid scheme offers the victims the opportunity to make a lot of money if they enter and if they pay their way into the system. Sometimes those are product-based pyramid schemes, sometimes they're not product-based, and there is purely the exchange of money. And they're able to make a lot of money if they are able to recruit a lot of people into the pyramid scheme as well. So in one case, in a Ponzi scheme, it is really one person who is very much in the center of this, collecting all of the money, distributing it, and just exchanging the money between the members to make it seem like they're running a really profitable business and also cashing out some for himself. In a pyramid scheme, people are asked to recruit others to then be able to profit off of their efforts and to be able to profit off of their work. While both systems are considered fraudulent and illegal in most countries, they're operating in a different way, and the scam also works in a different way. This is me giving you just a short overview, hopefully as precise as possible, into the topic of Ponzi schemes. I will link a couple of sources down below if you want to take a look at that yourself, or if you suspect that you might be caught in a fraudulent business. And I would also encourage you to take a look at the other videos I have in the Scam Dictionary on multi-level marketing, on Ponzi schemes now, on pyramid schemes, on uplines and downlines. And if you're interested in these types of topics and you would like further information, I would also encourage you to take a look at my Scam Dictionary playlist. I have a couple of videos there and more to come because there are so many more fraudulent business opportunities that I would like to make a video about most of them. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, tschüss!